Race number 5, the championship dash for 3-year-old colt pacers from the county fair circuits. And here's the field in race 5 with no changes. 1 is Our Man Dan, owned by Larry Breed of Stockton, Benita Simmons of Springfield. Tom Simmons trains, and Tom will be in the bike. 1A, Fox Valley Typhoon, coupled in the wagering, owned by Benita Simmons. Fergie and Lowe of Denver, Colorado. Tom Simmons trains. Tony Morgan is up. 2 is King Johnny, owned by Clark Fairley of Lerna, by Marlene Fairley of Charleston. Fairley trains and drives. 3, Cody Classic, owned by Fred and Judy Scott, Moorhaven, Florida. Fred Scott, the trainer-driver. 4 is Hold, Fold, or Draw, owned by Jackie Grigg of Wheatcroft, Kentucky. Tom Grigg trains. Eric Ledford drives. 5, Classy Night, owned by Derry Birch of Willow Hill. He trains. Fred Finn Jr. in the sulky. 6, Beach Bluff Ethan, owned by Buddy Simpson of Fairfield, by Richard Klein of Mount Carmel. Simpson trains. Clay Simpson gets a call. 7, Pepitone, owned by Tripoli Stable of Norridge, Illinois. Irvin Miller, the trainer. Andy Miller is up. 8, Sergeant Rap, owned by Leroy and Betty Moore of Ellery. Kenny Collier trains. Dave McGee will drive. And number 9, Tattler T, owned by the Tetriks, Mary Alice, Trace, and Tom of Jeff. Trained by Tom. Tim Tetrik in the bike. That's the field. Race 5, County Fair Challenge Championship for 3-year-old colt pacers. Ten across the gate, and here they come. They're off and pacing from the outside. There goes Pepitone between horses out very quickly as Our Man Dan. He'll get the lead. Pepitone will be out second. Third to the inside. Hold, Folder, Draw. Getting away fourth is King Johnny. On the outside, following cover 5, Fox Valley Typhoon. Racing to the inside. 6 now as they swing around the turn, headed toward the quarter-mile mark is Cody Classic. Racing next is Classy Night. 8 as they reach the quarter-mile station will be Beach Bluff Ethan. Out 9, still there. As they pass that point is Sergeant Rapp at the back of the field of pacers. Tattler T, front panel 27-4, rolling as they hit the backstretch. And now action up front, to the front on the outside. There goes Hold, Folder, Draw. He's driving toward the lead. Pepitone has it. He'll yield. Racing third behind him now is Our Man Dan. 4, Fox Valley Typhoon. 5, King Johnny down the backside. Cody Classic is 6. Racing 7, Classy Night, still 8. Beach Bluff Ethan 9 to the inside. As they reach the half-mile juncture will be Sergeant Rapp. Tattler T can see them all. They're at the half. And the leader now as they race past that mark, Hold, Folder, Draw, and Ledford. He'll be tested by Our Man Dan. Here he comes. 56 3/2. Our Man Dan to the front. He leads at length, a length and a half. And off the rail to the outside. Following cover, but he just lost it. Moving by himself now, King Johnny. He'll challenge. Racing third to the inside. Hold, Folder, Draw. And now joining that fray, here comes Fox Valley Typhoon and Anthony Morgan. 5 is Pepitone. Racing 6, Classy Night. 7 at the 3/4. Beach Bluff Ethan. He's moving up. They're at the 3/4. On the inside, Our Man Dan has the lead. That's King Johnny applying pressure. Coming on, Fox Valley Typhoon to the inside. Hold, Folder, Draw is 4th. Pepitone is 5. Still following cover. 24-4. Top of the lane. And now as they turn for him, Our Man Dan has the lead. Here comes his stablemate, Fox Valley Typhoon on the outside. Between horses, driving as they race this way to the wire, Our Man Dan, but it's King Johnny on the outside of him. He gets the lead. King Johnny, Clark Fairley. King Johnny will win it. It'll be the entry, second and third. Fox Valley Typhoon was second. Racing third was Our Man Dan. Photo for 4 between Hold, Fold, or Draw and Pepitone. Then home 6 was Classy Night. 7 was Tattler T, unofficially. It's King Johnny, Clark Fairley, who split that entry, came between him, and won the 3-year-old pace championship. 154. Clark Fairley lives at Lerna, Illinois, a little town just outside Charleston. For many years, he has enjoyed owning and training a horse. Quite often, he's turned the driving duties over to others. Not so with King Johnny. Clark, by experience, is an amateur driver. He hasn't driven that many starts. He drove this one like a John Campbell. From Lerna and Charleston, Illinois, owned there by Clark Fairley and by Marlene Fairley, trained by Clark, and so well driven by Clark Fairley. Here's the winner of the 3-year-old colt championship of the county fairs of 2001, King Johnny Clark Fairley. And Clark Fairley, if you know him, you will agree, is one of the super guys of the business. And into victory lane at DuQuoin goes Clark Fairley. And this might be Clark's first win at the DuQuoin State Fair. We'll find out in just a moment. Tom Tetrick joins his friend Clark Fairley in the ceremony along with co-owner Marlene Fairley and most of the people of Lerna, Illinois. Winning 3-year-old is a Kingston gelding from the Arts Place mother Swift's sister, so a credit to an Arts Place mare. Obviously, they're going to be among the ranking broodmares of the future. And by the very dependable Illinois sire, Kingston. And there he is, King Johnny and Clark Fairley.